Alright, let's see a review of the Lenovo K5 Pro. So as you can see here, it has 6 gigabytes of RAM. It says it right here in the settings. It shows it, and it's Oreo 8.1. Alright, so they're pretty good. That should be a high-end phone at least. But when you go in PUBG, it doesn't really show itself as a high-end phone. When I was playing PUBG, this phone's actually, it was really big. So when I was playing PUBG, I was trying to get used to the controls and just didn't work too well because the phone was actually really big. And my hands, well, they weren't used to the phone size. I was used to my Huawei P10 Lite. That's the phone I normally use. So I need to adjust. I could probably play Claw on this, but it's not really ideal because I'm not used to it. I might have to adjust. Maybe don't play PUBG on this, but well, I kind of expected a bit more out of this phone because it has 6 gigabytes of RAM. But what shocked me the most was that, as you can see, I cannot run ultra frame rate. I cannot. Not even the high graphics, as you can see here, doesn't work. When I click on these high graphics like HD, when I click on it, does not work. Doesn't let me. I can't even run ultra frame rate. The game was smooth, but I can't run it at high frame rate. That's the problem. It has 6 gigabytes of RAM, but yet it cannot run it at the highest frame rate, or even the second highest, ultra. That is just shocking. Like 6 gigabytes of RAM and still can't run it. That's really terrible. So if you guys just want this phone for like gaming purposes, do not get this, okay? Let's see. There's like no good reason to get this phone. I mean, the camera is good, but let's be honest, most of us are using phones for gaming and all this other stuff. I mean, it's really fast. That's why I like the fastness of it. It's actually smooth and stuff. It's better than my Huawei P10 Lite. The camera is better. The camera can pick up more detail, especially small words. You can pick it up more easily than my Huawei P10 Lite, which is very good. The camera is good. The lighting is actually pretty good. The brightness is alright. This is half at the moment. I mean, it's pretty good. It feels pretty smooth. But it's not really the quality phone I expected. I expected much more, especially on PUBG. Surprisingly, it did not meet up my expectations, and I would advise you to not get this phone. Okay? I honestly do not feel this phone is quality. Like, the quality in this is that it has good camera, it has like the panorama thing, the lens, the fish eye lens, I guess, the finger point thing, and I think it has face recognition, but I need to set that one up. But apart from, apart from the camera and like, I mean, who really uses camera that much? I don't use camera that much. I mostly use it for gaming. But yeah, it's not ideal for gaming. If you guys just want to use it as like a daily use phone, not mostly gaming, then I guess you can get this. But honestly, I would advise not getting this. There are probably much more better quality phones at this price. Okay, probably much more better quality phones in this. Because surprisingly, it did not meet my expectations. It's 6 gigabytes of RAM, but I can't really run games at, well, the optimum level. I mean, this should be a high-end phone, but it doesn't act like a high-end phone. The function of it does not act like a high-end phone. I don't feel like it is. It's supposed to be, but it just doesn't feel like it because I couldn't run PUBG in high graphics. No, I don't really care about graphics that much, but you know, I would like a better graphics. But the problem was that the frame rate, it cannot run higher than medium. That's like the standard. Medium is like the standard between most mid-range phones and stuff. Even long range, like medium is like the pretty much the maximum. And I was surprised. So let me put this in a category. So these are phones with 2 gigabytes of RAM, 2G, that's right, 2G RAM, right? These phones are at a very low range phone, basically low range. Any phones like 2 gigabytes of RAM or below is low range, and then you got that 3 gigabytes. Oh wait, I forgot 1 gigabyte. Some of these exist, okay? 1 gigabyte RAM does exist, but You really cannot run PUBG on this. This is just inefficient. RAM. This is like a very low range. Okay, this is very low range. Anything below 2 gigabytes of RAM is very low range. And this is low range, just the standard low range one. 3 gigabytes of RAM is, well, high low range, basically. Which is a bit better than low range. And then you have the 4G RAM. Okay. This is like, the low mid-range. Alright, this is around this. And you got 5 gigabytes of RAM. This is around like mid-range-ish. Yeah, mid-range. And then you have 6 gigabytes of RAM, which is like the very mid-range. I say very, very mid-range, which means it's quite good quality. But also, it's also low, considered low high range as well. Yes, surprisingly, it's very mid-range and low high range. So this phone should be around, this has 6 gigabytes of RAM, so it should be around this tier. It's a low high range phone. So you got 7 gigabytes of RAM on a phone. What is that? That is like high range, I guess. This is like the mid-high range. And then you got the most, well, the 8 gigabytes of RAM. This is the, well, very high range. This means that this phone is probably like the best. If you have 8 gigabytes of RAM, that's probably the maximum. Like that's where you can run PUBG on max graphics, max everything, and you can run it smoothly. This is probably the best spot. 6 gigabytes of RAM should be able to run Ultra. That's what I expected. Ultra and HD. Maybe not very HD, but yeah. This is like the very high range phones of 8 gigabytes of RAM. These are the very high ranges. But then you got even more insane phones like 10 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, that's like surprisingly that's like extreme high range. This is extreme high range. Okay, extreme high range. And then you got the 12 gigabytes of RAM, which is like the very extreme high range. This is like the maximum of the maximum. This is the maximum amount of gigabytes of RAM you can possibly buy from like someone who produces this. I've seen it happen. A phone can actually have this much RAM. This is the maximum I've ever seen on a phone. I've never seen anything above 12, but it is possible. You can do it, but I've never seen anyone make a phone that's above this because it's really not needed, okay? This is a bit sick. This is like twice my 5 gig of RAM. So this is very extreme range, high range basically. Extreme high range, yeah. Very extreme high range. This is like the top tier, like the best of the best, pretty much. But realistically, 8 gigabytes of RAM should be enough because you can run like max settings. This is pretty much probably the optimal. But this is also supposed to be good as well. This is actually quite good. Anything 6 and above are very good. Like these phones should be really good. But my phone did not meet that expectation, and that's why I'm not happy about it. So overall, the phone, overall I don't like the phone. The phone is not really the quality it should be. Considering the price, I felt it should have been better. The design could have been better, not design, but like it should have been able to run PUBG at ultra frame rate, at least. So overall, this phone, I don't recommend anyone to buy, okay? I don't feel like it's a good phone. There's probably way better phones at this price that are probably way better than this, which are able to run PUBG at ultra, well, graphics and ultra frame rate. But overall, not satisfied with the phone.